I know Samir from 94. We first met in 1994 when we began discussing Jerusalem, not in Geneva, many years before. And these discussions developed to the discussions that led later to Camp David, the Israeli and the Palestinian attitudes in Camp David, and then Geneva. Geneva is the only detailed model. There are principles like Clinton principles, but the detailed model, the only one exists, is Geneva. It is not the best document, but it is the only one exists that we agreed on and we can show. Now, today, the concept of two states is once again on the table due to President Obama. And President Obama was very clear: the two-state solution and the comprehensive agreement between Israelis and Arab states is a national security, American national security interest. We have to remember that when we consider the alternatives. Unlike President Bush, who said, okay, we cannot want an agreement more than the sides. Bush said, it's your business. Obama says it is our national security interest to have an agreement. And this makes a whole difference. In Cairo speech, he made a commitment of a personal involvement to reach such an agreement. So the real choice is between two options: a final status agreement or status quo. In my view, the status quo is bad for Israel. I agree. It is also bad for Palestinians, but I would like to speak in favor of the Israeli Zionist interest. We have here two national movements, two ethnic groups that fight over the same land. They don't want to live together in one state. They don't want.
Go with you. Not exactly.
No,
not
no.
exactly.
Sorry, they don't want. They want, those who support one state, they want one man, one vote in a state which is neutral to the ethnic origins of the two people. But this vision is in conflict with the fact that the two movements are very ethnic, religious, and nationalist. So the status quo is based on Israel's superiority and not equality. So the real option here is between Israel's superiority over the weaker Palestinian side or separation to two states. From Israeli perspective, the best is, in my view, to change the status quo to two-state solution. It is much more difficult today than it was on 2003 when we signed the Geneva Agreement. But we have no choice. I agree that today, to the majority of the Israelis, the status quo is attractive because we do not see the burden of controlling the whole area from Jordan to the Mediterranean Sea. For the time being, the Jews, are the majority, perhaps for the next 10 years, but we are not yet minority. Israel succeeded to find kind of a solution or to reduce Palestinian terrorist attacks. But this is a short-lived status quo. It will not stand long. In a way, it is a fata morgana, mirage. Just compare how many soldiers are busy today in controlling the Palestinians to the number of soldiers that control the Palestinian territory up to the First Intifada. Up to 87, the First Intifada, few hundred soldiers served in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Few hundreds. Today, tens of thousands, 2 divisions, and the intelligence and air force, almost all the army and the security services, the general security services, is busy in controlling the Palestinians. So we must look forward and find alternatives to this situation. Political agreement is just the beginning of a process, not the end of the process. It will begin a process of getting closer and building relations. It is just a peace treaty between two governments, a legal contract between governments, not between people. But it is a necessary step to begin a process in which the two people, in the long run, will find a compromise. Whoever argues in favor of let's first build a compromise between the people and then sign an agreement does not want an agreement or don't know what an agreement, a political agreement, is all about. And I am sure that the road for the two people to build peace relations, real peace relations, is very long, because we have here more than 120 years of conflict. And it will take a long time to recover from our memories and the bloodshed, the mutual bloodshed. But without the division into two separate states, that we Israelis will not intervene in their business and they will not be here in our own area, nothing will happen. And it is not because we will love each other and we stop hating each other or deleting the memories. It is necessary for our future to left behind, to close in our memories as a history, not delete it, not forget the memory, not forget what we suffered from, but to look forward and say we want a different future. We cannot be prisoners of our past, and we have to have normal life as a free nation and have our own territory in which we can establish our identity without interfering in the other nation business. Now, let me speak from a Zionist perspective. In my view, the Zionist ideology is not to build here a garrison state. We did not leave the diaspora in order to build here one more ghetto or a citadel. On the contrary, we left the diaspora in order to have normal life, not a ghetto. And if there is an option, we must seize it immediately. And here, at this moment, we have an option. Okay, that's it.